Mr. Fouad Jaber from Nebraska DOT, Assistant State Bridge Engineer, who's going to talk about fire-damaged structures.
Thank you for the opportunity for presenting this intriguing project for me anyway. So I thought I'll share it with you. I don't know what to take with it, but I'm going to do, we had a fire, obviously. So I'm going to show the fire, the situation, the investigation, the inspection, investigation, recommendation, and maybe a few slides on what we've done. I don't have a lot of construction because my PM, he kind of was out of vacation. He didn't send me all the slides. I got a few, but I'll give you what you need to know. So anyway, on this date, I received a call that we have a fire under I-80 in Omaha area.
Including Interstate 80 and 480. And an RV fire actually happened this afternoon under the bridge at 10th Street. 4 incidents within a mile of each other and affecting traffic in every direction. We begin our coverage with that RV fire, and our Rachel Urbanski is live.
Well, John, luckily traffic has calmed down a little bit. It's not as congested. We're here just off 13th Street near the 13th Street exit near I-80. Traffic is moving pretty smoothly in both directions, as you might be able to see behind me. Both westbound and eastbound lanes are moving smoothly after an RV fire in the westbound lane earlier. Now, that fire started just underneath the 10th Street bridge. Also, keep in mind, traffic was confined to one lane in the westbound lane, making it even a bit more of a pain to get through. But like we mentioned, traffic has cleared. And we also obtained cell phone footage that shows the burning RV near the 13th Street exit. The fire caused heavy smoke in the area and even can be seen from the zoo. The Nebraska State Patrol took this photo of the fire. All that remains is a gutted shell of an RV. Troopers were on scene, though, to help direct traffic and close the inside westbound lane of I-80 near 13th Street. Now, that fire does remain under investigation. Actually, just as we got here, a tow truck was taking that charred RV back. And like we mentioned earlier, traffic is moving smoothly. There were delays reported on the Nebraska 511 app in the eastbound lane all the way back to 84th Street. But like we mentioned, with that RV being removed, traffic will clear up.
So now you know the situation. 3 keys, maybe they already said close by the zoo, which is a very critical area. That bridge is very critical for us, so what to do. And obviously you got TV station, so that means the public we are in target eye there. They're gonna look at us, what we're gonna do. And obviously you got actually no casualties, so we know that's very good. So after we let the ambulance and everybody do what they think, we stood behind to start cleaning and everything. So now we took over from there. This is Omaha area, and this is the interchange of the I-80 and the bridge underneath. That's the location for there. Just to get you going. A few photo, you have to, now you see after just photo from the maintenance guys took us, they gave it to me, and you can see the fire maybe closer. You can see maybe the close by the RV. Few damages over there. Maybe give you an idea what's going on. We got a pier, we got a barrier, we got a girder, we got an underneath deck, got a pavement. Another shot. I'll give you just a situation. So we haven't started clean up yet. There you go. Just a visual inspection from us. The guys was telling me what they did. From the top, you see utility going down, and the girder underneath it by the pier. As when you shoot shot at the abutment, you see there. That's the pier on the right side. Now we'll start cleaning up a little bit. You can see more damage going on, cleaned up. So now you got the idea what we're doing. So after we did everything, so we did go, and that's the bridge before. The pier looking good. We painted the bridge. Usually we paint those like grayish color over weathering steel girder. We got the inspection, and we sent the guys, did the inspection, and we got a damage report and situation, you heard it, on the westbound of I-80. And they told us the deck got spalling at the bottom. We got some rebar showing a little bit. A lot of soot, so we did power wash everything before we start doing investigation, or inspection, I should say, investigation. And the deck Didn't show a lot of damage from underneath, but we saw some rebars, but we don't know the extent. Just visually what we're doing here. Superstructure, we know that the girder got high heat, according to what, can you read it? But I'm trying to read it for you fast. High heat causes distortion of the web, ABC. 3 girders, we have 7 girders, 3 in one column, 4 in the other column, as you see, 2-pier wall. So the RV was on the left side on one column, so all the 3 girders got affected underneath it. We don't know what the heat was, the fire, so we know it's fire there. So they measured the out-of-plane distortion is almost 1.5 inches. How? I don't know, but that's what they said. We got some cross-frame bending, obviously, and the bearing, we got some damage on the bearing, melted, and we got the rail underneath it, some obviously got the delamination, and then the paving where the RV was sitting there. So that's in general what was the damage. So this is the inspection report showing what they showed, the paving and the wall and etc. We took 4 cores. Just I'm going to tell you we need to do some investigation about the strength of the concrete, obviously, to see what we need to do. Whether it's damaged completely, we need to replace or repair or whatever. So we took 4 cores and we're showing you the coring location. And on the left, you can see the damage, at least closer maybe. That's the distortion of the girder, which is weird, because we didn't think we had that much heat, but we don't know. So that's what the guys did measure, and they did up-to-plane distortion, and that's what they found out. They did the string. There it is. On the right side, you see they made a string, and that's how much distortion. So we say, okay, is it damaged because of the heat, or is it damaged before? We don't know about. Do we have how much heat do we have to cause this? We don't know. All we know is hopefully it's not more than 1200 Fahrenheit, because that's really the temperature where the steel gonna change the formation and everything. So regardless, that's what we got the investigation. Bearing, you see the bearing, we got, according to this, the bearing covered with soot and melted plastic, type A and B. After power wash, the bearing was minor, the pitting. Another shot of the bearing, you can see it melted everything. But the guys told me they did not see any oozing of the elastomeric underneath it. It's confined, so in the elastomeric, they didn't see any. So they believe the elastomeric in still good shape. Under the deck, you can see the lamination over there. Cover, we lost few cover at the top, rebar explosion. And on the left side, you can see all the damage underneath the deck. And the color. We said the power wash revealed that we have no discoloration, which is we still have the weathering steel color, technically speaking, from the high heat, but no cracks in the weld, in the web and the flange. So at least structure damage, we don't see structural damage. So really, more or less, it's a distortion of the web, and we have to fix, obviously. And durability of the concrete, we have to maintain to do that. So I'm going to stop now. We took the cores, we sent it to the guys, and now this is about, we're talking a week here, then another phone call. We have another fire on the bridge. So we thought maybe Nebraska was targeted or something, you know, it's between when we get 2 fires. We never had those before. Now we got maybe 2 of them in probably 1 or 2 weeks.
So strange. Cars driving by, called 911, 10, 15 minutes ago, still not here or
This one is over the bridge, not under the bridge.
explosions. Debris is falling down on Dodge Street.
It's a semi.
No streets have been closed off yet.
It's a semi. They said it's a brake because the brake got fire, and that's what started the whole thing. Remember now, my cores are just being investigated, but for the other bridge, so I'm waiting. That's the second bridge. That's over West Dodge, on Omaha, also West Dodge Street, but that's different presentation. I just want to say we got another fire. The damage of just for few photo for your information, that truck was carrying hot dogs, so you get good hot dogs. If you want to eat some, go ahead. So go ahead, get some, but you can see the damage mainly of the rail. The rail did its job, so whatever the brake hit the rail. That's a TL5 rail over the interstate, so it held pretty good. We're good. That's the vehicle, the brake, and just the hot dogs.
They're not burnt.
If you want to eat it, you can. You don't have to do anything, just eat it. Actually, that's a few damage you see by the rail. We lost most of the cover. You can see the reinforcement showing. Close look. That's really, we haven't done anything. We just did a little bit, and everything fell down, really, with the heat, obviously. One important thing to say is on the left, this is an EPO, epoxy polymer overlay. This is where was the truck, and you can see damage, and they're telling me that you got scarring of the epoxy overlay along the shoulder. You know, it's a good thing, whoever doing EPO, that's pretty good, I think, you know, with this heat and everything, all this damage. So we didn't know that can handle this heat, which is not bad, I thought. So we'll have more than that. So FYI. Now, we got our cores back result, fresh bridge. So we remember we sent them before, now we got them back. So the course shows that we do have good strength in the deck, we do have strength in the pier. So no structural damage, it's mainly sacrificial. And you can see from the bottom what the investigation told us that from the aggregate they saw, they didn't think, at least they said, the lack of color change in the aggregate suggests the concrete was not heated to the temperature greater than 572 Fahrenheit, which I thought that's not bad, you know, 500, but they said not greater. But that's maybe was not subjected to elevated temperature long enough to change the color. So I was thinking 1200 because of the buckling and everything. I thought, how in the world we got the buckling? But regardless, that's proof they tell us is very good. So now we know, at least for today, that the buckling happened because of the heat. Believe it or not, but that's what it is. So about inch and a half out of control, as the pictures say. Now, and the temperature, obviously, affected the concrete mainly about half an inch. That's sacrificial. So now we're talking about durability and preservation, so no structural repair and the substructure at the minimum, which is good. So recommendation, and that's what I'm trying to say. The recommendation said that we need to replace the girders because we lost the shear, etc. That's the consultant telling me that. And we need to replace the barrier underneath. And they don't know how to fix the deck on the bottom because it's a big surface area. So because I can change the recommendation because I can. And because the boss doesn't want to close the bridge, we cannot replace because it's a zoo, the only thing, economical factors. So that's why we decided we're not going to replace it, we're going to go to heat straightening. We asked the heat straightening guys, what we do, can you do inch and a half? They said, well, it's going to be tough, but they're going to try, but the tolerance will be around half an inch. So we can live with a half an inch tolerance buckling of the plane. I suppose we could do that. We did some finite element study and everything. We thought we'd be okay with buckling purposes. So to make the long story short, that's what we decided to do. So I override the recommendation. I took the underside of the bridge, and we can't replace, so we did decide to do shortcrete, the pier, and the reason we decided to do that is because it's only half an inch. Durability problem. We changed our shortcrete specification lately to have put fiber, as we discussed, Paul and I. We have fiber, and I added 7% silica fuel for the shortcrete for durability purposes, chloride splashing in that column in the wall. So we believe that should give us the durability we want, and we anchored the wall with the galvanized bolts and give us the 2 inches more clearance. So we believe we did that the right way to do, and that's what we took. So the bearing, you said replace the bearing. Obviously, we don't want a jack. Even we don't replace the girder. We're not going to replace the bearing because the jacking is going to cost me a lot of headaches. So because we did not see any elastomeric melting and everything with that confined bearing, we assumed it's going to be fine over there, testing. So we're just going to galvanize it back and paint it. So how much distortion? So we did use the LiDAR, and the LiDAR gave us this result. And you can see the ABC girder, the three girders, from A is the worst, B, C, as we go. As you can see from the color, is the most distortion on girder A, obviously, and we go see. So we decided to heat straightening those three girders, and the heat straightening, obviously, we have to take the weathering steel out, so we have to go SP10, obviously, and we come back with the color and paint the girders, at least from splice to splice. It's a hunch girder, as you can see it. So we decided that's really the best solution for us, and this is we gave the heat straightening guy to give him exactly where we at, because LiDAR give you exact measurement. So that's what we gave him. Scope of work, as I said, we changed what they're saying. We wanted to get heat straightening with ABC girder. We want to replace the damaged girder cross frame. That's easy to replace, even though we can maybe keep the distortion and we use it as a curved girder and we use a few cross frame. That might work, but we didn't want to do that. Surface preparation for painting, we did that for walling, and you can see that scope of work we decided to do. And the cross frame and the pod bag, as discussed. So the shotcrete work and the paint, we use the typical what with preservation we do on the steel girder and weathering steel on the end. We do that brown color, and we use the same color to restore the surface. I thought aesthetic will be fine, brown in the middle, and will be different color as I see. So that's the color, Federal Highway color we chose and we use all the time. And just FYI, you can see the color, which is 30475, which is the top from the yellow. And I don't want to go to this order web heat straightening because I don't want to bore you. Anyway, I went to Federal Highway. They do have guideline for you can go online and get it for heat straightening. It's pretty cool. I get to learn a lot of things. I can tell you, those guys are just very artful. I mean, all they had to do is bring the torch they had, and we provided traffic control, we provided boom and everything. Also, they brought their torch mainly. So if we had smart people in our maintenance to do this stuff, maybe we could have done it, but we don't have the capacity to do it, and I don't think anybody can. Ed, you told me you guys did it, and wow. Because those guys are very artful. I tell you, they do it they told me from granddaddy to daddy to dad. I mean, this is people, it's just, they do it here. So I'll show you a few, I mean, at least, I don't want to go with that. We told them to give them, obviously, according to Federal Highway guideline, we want it to be 3-4 years experience, and et cetera, and you're going to give them the color, the color heat for 300, 600, 900, 1200, so you know they're not overheating or so for the torch, et cetera. So all this was, we did that for the RFQ. So anyway, just fast way here. This is after they took, you can see on the left, they fixed the color, which is not bad really. And then you can see can you see this is after they took all the weathering steel off what? Now it's naked girder. And they need to do that before they start heat straightening. That is shotcrete, because I got a photo there. So you can see it's not bad, really. And we have good luck with shotcrete, by the way, FYI. We changed our spec to do patching or shotcreting if the contractor want to do that. So we had demanded shotcrete on this one, and looks like they do a good job, and at least I think. That's maybe one way to show it. Maybe a shot, what they're doing, look good. That rib over there we were worrying about, the rib between the wall and the face. Looks like they did a good job also there. We weren't worrying about it, and that's close. So it looks like no crack, no nothing, no shrinkage crack. The rail looks good, at least after fixing. Obviously, we did the same thing. We added 2 inches for the cover, and the same thing for the silica fume for the durability and the preservation purposes for splash zone chloride. And that's a shot after the finishing. You see the column after the soot and everything fixing. Looks good in general, I think. That's not the final. I don't have. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can see on the left side the weathering steel, the right side the naked one, and you see the the dot where the torch, they were, for the heat straightening they're doing. That's a shot from underneath. Again, the girder, the straightening, how they did it, and it looked like they got about less than 7/8, which we did a good job, I thought. And we're gonna obviously wash the soot underneath the overhang, and because we know it's sacrificial, and we're gonna, eventually they're gonna shortcrete it also. Another shot, photos. And this one I'm showing this is the final product after the painting, and you can see the other two ready to go to paint, but it doesn't look that bad. The finished one, and this is the final, at least look. This from splice to the pier after the painting and removal of the straightening and everything. So I don't have all the other photo, but at least I think we did okay for the whole thing. So eventually you're going to see on the left side, they're going to paint it this way for aesthetic purposes, and we're going to see overhang, the hunch from the splice, so you'll see the same color, and then weathering steel on the other side, only fascia only. And the public was happy. Actually, we got a lot of good, fast done from the public, letters from the director, which is good. And obviously, TV is not there yet to tell us how we fixed it. We're hoping TV come and we fixed it. We'll see. But that's the final thing. So fast, that's my story. Total value, cost. You want to know cost? That's what we got, $360,000. That was the bill from the contractor. We're going to build the insurance, and the insurance fighting it so far. We're still, and we're going to see back and forth. So really, before we do, we recommend a declare emergency. That's what we did, and we created obviously emergency fund to build that account so we can, when we go to the insurance, and that's why I'm trying to document for the insurance purpose. That's what your lawyer's going to tell you. So far, he's telling me that, at least I hear, they haven't settled yet. They said the insurance say it's not their fault because it's fire, it's like any accident. What can you do? So I'm not sure how the lawyer is going to handle it, but that's the number.
Very good. Well, thank you for the presentation.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.